Hi, this is Tanya Francine with the National Weather Service Skywarn program, reminding you to keep an eye to the sky and listen to the XJ Talk Show.
Good evening. This is Tony. You know me as Motoroy on the XJ Talk Show, xjtalk.com, a super cool forum with all kinds of Jeeps, even the KL, which I think in ham lingo that reminds me of Alaska, because I think all the calls in Alaska started off with KL, and you'll understand why I'm talking about call signs in Alaska here in just a few minutes. So we are going to get started. This is the pre-show. Actually, I should have the pre-show graphic up and not the regular show logo, which we just did. If you're watching us live on the xjtalkshow.com, thank you very much for joining us. If you're watching us live on YouTube Live, please consider jumping over to xjtalkshow.com. You'll have a little chat room that you can talk to some of the other viewers there. We think it's fun. You can stay where you like if you want, no problem. But any comments you might make, we won't see until after the show. If you want to make those comments known during the show, join us again at xjtalkshow.com. So I forgot about the video I recorded this past Monday. I'm not going to give it away. I forgot about the video that I recorded this past Monday and had to quickly edit it. I was all done, sitting here fat, dumb, and happy, literally, and I went, hey, wait a minute, there's a video I got to play in the show. So I'm going to give you that time on it as soon as I pull it over here. Oh, and I was going to ask you, did you do anything to your video? Because you seem to be closer to the camera now.
Oh, no, I haven't, actually. Closer.
Yeah, like zoomed in. Now, I don't remember. I mean, well, no, it says your name. I made some modifications for the video that I did Monday. I had to change the title bar and everything else, but I haven't done anything. I didn't save any of those changes. So, like right now, I don't see any hair on the top of your head because the video is cutting that off. If I look at you, on Skype, I mean, you've got a good, I can see almost your whole hand.
There's several fingers above my head worth of space there. So, my Skype video is doing what it should.
Okay. So let me see if I can change it here. Just got to find the right window. So yes, I know the show's supposed to start at 10, but we never do. So, that's the charm of live. If you've been here before, you know all about the charm.
Hey, where did you want to play that promo, that video? I know you you stuck it up there in the beginning. Is that where you wanted to play it, or do you want to do it later on?
Let me see. I don't know which promo you're talking about. I thought you were talking about the video promo.
The video promo, yeah. Sorry.
Oh yeah, wherever you like. I don't know where you play. Where we had the Day of the Dirt thing last time.
It was towards the end, so let's go ahead and put that down there. I got one last thing to do, and then I'll be ready to go. I just got to get the YouTube subscribers in there. Okay, I got 3 This Week in Jeep stories. One of them is very, very short. Let's see, we got our intro, voicemail, YouTube subscribers, mine and Nikki G. You got the pre-recorded spot for the Jeep Mama thing?
Yes. That's the video I was talking about.
Oh, okay. That's set. And okay. Oh, yeah, I got one last thing to throw in there. Dang it. I knew I forgot
That's all right.
something.
I'm not ready.
All right.
Software is giving me a bit of a fit. I'm gonna have to restart the video software. So, guys, we'll be right back. Hang in there. Okay, so we should be back. So the A Day of the Dead promo is 37 seconds long, video promo.
Okay. Alright, finally got you back on there. Okay, now I'm ready, Tony. Sorry for the delay.
It's okay. I'm still not ready.
Oh, okay.
Just have to add in our video. Step 1, remember where video is. Step 2, panic because I can't remember where the video is. Let's see. Oh, I bet you it's in video promo. Somebody was thinking. All right, that one's up, and it looks like it is, let's see, 2 minutes, 29 seconds. I'm sorry, 2 minutes, 35 seconds. So I need to close up a few things, and I'll be right back.
Okay.
All right, let's make like a banana and get going.
You got it.
Everybody get their show timers ready. I'll be darned. Forget about
there we go.
Yeah, but it's not stereo. It's only one channel. I guess I can always fix it in post. I forget about that. Those one channel things, they always come out as left channel on the playing through this soundbite software. Dumbass.
Oh, I was gonna say by the time it gets to me though, I'm hearing it out of both headphones.
Well, you're only getting mono over there. Ready, just cleaning up a few things here. Okay. I think we're done. I have not made a change to the hard-hitting intro yet, so we'll still be doing the This Week in Jeep entry.
Okay.
Okay, video shots are not going to have a bunch of different ones today. A little adjustment there. Okay. So, yeah, time to get going. I do need to have the show notes up. All right. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Damn it, yes.
You're You're listening to a 4x4 Radio Network podcast.
Are you ready?
It's the XJ Talk Show. With Tammy on Wrangler, Tony and Josh on Cherokee. So sit back, strap in, and brace yourself.
First week in G.
Well, we knew it was going to happen, and now it's official. Fiat Chrysler Automobiles has appealed, and it has asked for a new trial following one that ended early in April with a Georgia jury awarding $150 million to the family of a 4-year-old boy killed in a fiery crash involving a 1999 Jeep Grand Cherokee. The company's lawyers have announced that the evidence and the law did not support that verdict back in April when it was handed down. The filing with the Superior Court of Decatur County says the $120 million wrongful death award is more than 11 times the largest death award in Georgia history. The $30 million pain and suffering award is more than 4 times the largest award upheld in the state. The filing added, the jury's stunning and unprecedented damage awards are grossly excessive. The jury found Chrysler, now part of Fiat Chrysler Automobiles, was 99% at fault in the death of Remington Walden. The driver who slammed into the back of the Jeep Grand Cherokee was found to be 1% at fault. Attorneys for the Walden family argued that the placement of the Jeep's fuel tank behind the rear axle made it more likely to cause a fire in the event of a rear-end crash, such as the one that led to the child's death. U.S. regulators said that last week they were ready to take action soon to accelerate recalls, including the trailer hitch install repair to fix the one for the gas tank fires in the Jeep SUVs. The 1999 Grand Cherokee that was a part of the accident and at the center of this lawsuit was oddly enough not included in a June 2013 recall of 1.56 million Jeep SUVs, as the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and FCA had agreed to limit the recalls. The safety regulator had earlier pushed for a wider recall of 2.7 million Jeeps. So, what does all this mean? More waiting and more waiting and more waiting until the new trial date is set, and then, it's going to get real ugly, I'm sure. Hey, this is interesting. This is actually breaking news right now. Thieves crash Jeep into Bloomingdale store. A trio of bandits are actually on the run right now after backing a Jeep through a Bloomingdale storefront during a smash and grab robbery. Security cameras recorded the smash and grab in California. The thieves stuffed high-priced jewelry into their Jeep and then drove right back through the shattered glass door. Police are currently searching for the thieves, who are now long gone, along with the loot. You want to try and take your brand new Cherokee off-road? Well, you might get hit in the face. Not by me, even though I might wish to do so. No, FCA is expanding its airbag software update for the 2014 and 2015 Jeep Cherokee to cover 68,593 more of the vehicles worldwide. This brings the total to, 316,000 some odd Cherokees. Of those, there are now 230,000 in the U.S., 28,000 in Canada, and 6,000 in Mexico, and 52,000 outside the North American Free Trade Agreement states. According to the automaker, after reviewing the potentially affected population, it discovered these additional Cherokees in need of the upgrade. The original campaign to repair these vehicles was announced in the early February release. Engineers found a small number of cases where dramatic changes to the angle of the vehicle that upset the Cherokee's delicate whittle balance caused the side curtain and seat-mounted side airbags to deploy because they are retarded, and they anticipated a rollover. These especially occurred when driving off-road. Well, duh. According to FCA, there's no additional reports of this happening, and the company isn't aware of any injuries or accidents. I would have to say that this is because, those who have bought a new Cherokee are A, not the type of people who would find having the gumption and the drive to take their rig off-road, and B, because even if they did, they would be too scared to drive over anything but gravel. And last but certainly not least, let's face it, the new Cherokee just isn't meant to go off-road. So what's the fix for this premature ejaculation of airbags? It's simply a software upgrade that recalibrates the airbag's deployment sensors. Hey, big thanks to all of you out there who continue each and every week to help me out by submitting stories to This Week in Jeep. If you guys have something that you think I should be reporting on, or you got a response to any one of our stories here on This Week in Jeep, well, make sure you let us know by sending us an email to newstips@xjtalkshow.com.
xjtalk.com is where you go when you're not off-road. And now you can go to xjtalk.com when you're off-road too. Using your smartphone, install the Tap a Talk app, then search for XJ Talk. Take XJ Talk with you wherever you go. Jury duty, dinner with your spouse's parents, even, well, anywhere you need your XJ Talk fix.
We welcome and look forward to your questions and comments. Dial 530-675-4102 and leave your message on our 24/7 voicemail.
You already know about XJ Talk on Facebook, Twitter, and Google+. But did you know we're on YouTube as well? We have off and on-road adventures, how-tos for fixing or augmenting your Jeep. Besides, man cannot live by sound alone, right? Come see what we got at youtube.com/user/XJTalk. Don't forget to subscribe and make comments on our videos.
I don't know if that's proper English or not, but she was just reading what I wrote, and so there you go.
Yeah, we all know about proper English on this show, don't we?
Just a couple of knuckleheads with some microphones, headphones.
Oh, I'm sure the grammar police are just chomping at the bit right now. If they can only get a hold of us, well, we'd hear all sorts of stuff from them.
The Jeep guys are going, "What? I don't understand what you're talking about."
I don't know what you're talking about. It sounded fine to me.
I just gotta say this real quick. I was given one of the new members of the 4x4 Radio Network a hard time via email. I was listening to John on the Center Steer podcast, episode 25, and they had made some derogatory comments about Jeeps inside the episode 25. Nothing major, just a little something about,
a little friendly ribbing.
Yeah, nobody uses a Jeep for overlanding is how they put it, and they had never run across anybody that used a Jeep for overlanding. And then it was funny. It's just a little something, and then towards the end, John actually makes mention of joining the 4x4 Radio Network, and he's explaining who's part of the 4x4 Radio Network, but he's describing it as in what the shows are about. And he covered the Muddy Microphone, he covered Dan 4x4 podcast, and then he got to us, and he says a truck podcast.
Oh.
He couldn't bring himself in front of his friends. It's the friends that he had on the show to say that he was associating with a Jeep podcast.
Yeah, gonna have to call and leave a voicemail, I think. Little friendly trolling amongst fellow podcasters. You know, it's nothing but love, guys. Nothing but love. And speaking of love, and if you love the off-road world, guys, well, you need to get your off-road fix, and there's only one place to do that, and that is the 4x4 Radio Network. Now, what is the 4x4 Radio Network? Well, it is a network of 4x4 type of shows. The XJ Talk Show, the 4x4 Podcast, Center Steer, and the Muddy Microphone Podcast have all joined forces, and, well, we've created a network. We'll be adding more shows to the lineup soon, and, well, we've obviously added a few more here just in the last couple months. You guys can visit 4x4radionetwork.com and listen to all the great podcasts simply by pressing the play button. No player to download, no special plugins required, anything like that. Guys, just head to 4x4radionetwork.com, find the show you want to listen to, and press play. There's no better place to get all your 4x4 information, and there's no easier way to get your 4x4 podcast fix. It's 4x4 Radio Network, www.4x4radionetwork.com.
Just thought I'd mention real quick, John does the Center Steer podcast. He and a group of friends, and some of them are over in England, which, very well should be for the Range. Oh, I did it. I get John upset if I say Range Rover, the Land Rover crowd. And it's quite an interesting podcast. I just finished up episode 25, and I'm learning about the Land Rovers. I've already learned that I can upset John by saying, "Oh yeah, that Range Rover show." So if you want to give John a hard time, do that, because it just sets him off. Anyway, and then the Muddy Microphone podcast that Josh just mentioned. That's about ATVs and UTVs and off-road motorcycling. They were actually talking about a two-wheel drive motorcycle. Josh, I had never heard of such a thing. And,
they've actually been out the technology has been out for quite some time, in fact, but it never really made it to the mainstream marketplace as, a sort of in every model type of thing. Now they're starting to come back because there is a massive explosion right now going on with the motocross world and off-road, just off-road adventuring, period, whether that be by quad or by bike. Heck, I've got probably no less than 6 guys in my immediate circle of friends that all ride. And so it's definitely a craze that's taken the world. And if you guys are motorcycle or quad enthusiasts, something like that, ATV or XCVs, guys, get in on the Muddy Microphone podcast. You definitely want to be a part of that.
Yeah, that's Glenn over there. It's not really Glenn, it's Greg. But I called him Glenn in our first meeting, so that's going to be a sore spot for a long time. And he laughed it off. But anyway.
I'll just call him G. What's up, G?
What's up, G? GR, GL?
Hey, you.
So hopefully you guys will enjoy the episode 1 of the 4x4 Radio Network Roundtable that will be coming out, I think, tonight. I think I'll post it up tonight, regular download on the same place you get the XJ Talk Show from.
And not having been a part of that and not having heard that, but only having a little bit of inside info about what that was all about, let me just say this. Give it some time. I think those will get better as they go on.
It was okay. It was fun. It was just 4 guys sitting there shooting the breeze, basically, and about 30 minutes long. So you get a little bit better feel of the individual podcasts and the people that participate in it, the heads, if you will. So anyway, please join us and please download that episode. And for those of you that are subscribers, you have no choice. You will download it, and you will like it.
You will.
Yes,
and you will like it.
So anyway, my name is Tony. Tammy, introduce yourself. No, Tammy's not here tonight, obviously. Unfortunately, she decided that she'd rather go to San Francisco and have a good time than be here and have a good time. So
I don't remember authorizing access to my coastline, dang it. So I don't know where she gets off just willy-nilly coming over here to the West Coast like that. I mean, come on, what is this, a free country or something?
Yeah, and it's not like she hadn't been to San Francisco recently. She just went there with her husband. Now she's out there with her sister and her niece. So what the hell? I mean, you can't
probably up to no good. I
was just gonna say you can't help but know that there's going to be trouble involved. So we may get a call and a request for bail tonight on the show. You never know.
Live on the show. Now that would be something else. Oh, please.
You're not putting this on the air, are you? No.
No, we wouldn't do anything like that.
So anyway,
guys, you guys know me as Josh. I go by NW99XJ on the interwebs and pretty much every Jeep facet that is out there. And, well, guys, we are here to help support the off-road world, the world of Jeeps, and, of course, the xjtalk.com website. And it's where you guys want to go to, well, pretty much take care of all of your Jeep needs, whether it be advanced modifications, fabrication, or first-time tips and tricks for the new Jeep owner. There's no flaming. There's no such thing as a stupid question over there. We highly encourage all Jeep owners to please check out xjtalk.com. Guarantee you're going to like it.
Yes, guaranteed, but not actual guarantee. No warranty, sort of, no money-back guarantee.
Ironclad warranty. No, there's nothing there.
No, it really doesn't mean a thing. So anyway, please join us every week here on the XJ Talk Show, because at least one of us will be here, I promise.
Yep. Hey, speaking of joining us every week, guys, we are recording the show live every week, and you can join in on this fun, and it is a lot of fun. And trust me, there's a lot of people that like to join in. And on our live chat, you guys can get in on that action at xjtalkshow.com. I just head over there. Thursdays, 10 p.m. Central is when we kind of start things getting going.
10-ish.
A little bit before. Let's just say 10-ish, yeah. Yeah, we're usually a bit fashionably late. But there is a pre-show. There is also a post-show. And access to those is 100% free. There's no sign-up required. Just head over to the site and join in on the fun.
Yeah, I think I'll do a quick shout-out here. We've got the in our chat room tonight on xjtalkshow.com, where you can watch the video and chat live. We've got the Paps Boys. We've got the Super Croc. Let's see, there's somebody named Josh. I don't know who the hell that is.
I don't know who that guy is.
Who else do we have in there? I see a lot of going back and forth between Paps Boys and Super Croc. Okay, well, I think that's about it, at least for the ones that are chatting it up. Get in there, get in the chat room and chat it up. If we have a moment, we'll do a shout out to you and let you know. Well, the chat room just took a turn for the worse. I see
that happens every now and again.
Star K ING hippies. Well, at least there's stars. Anyway, let's get these voicemails in, because we've got a few more people here that have gone and filled that fourth seat and helping out with the show by calling into the voicemail that we have available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And, oh, my goodness, look, there's the number. I actually found it, Josh. I didn't have to defer to you. You can call our voicemail line at 530-675-4102. In fact, you can call it now and have the XJ Talk Show playing in the background. That's 530-675-4102.
Another option you guys have is using our SpeakPipe feature, which can be found over at xjtalkshow.com. It's basically just like an online voice recorder of sorts. Just you need a smartphone or a tablet or a microphone hooked up to any PC, and you guys can leave us a voicemail through the internet using our SpeakPipe feature at xjtalkshow.com.
Hey, this is Tony.
And this is Josh from the XJ Talk Show. We want to thank you for calling our 24/7 voice line.
Yes, we do. Just leave your first name and your question or comment.
There's no guarantee, but we may play your message on the podcast.
Oh, and don't worry about keeping it clean. We'll take care of that.
Now it's your turn to speak at the beep.
Hey, XJ Talk. This is Nathan. Nate Battle calling from Colorado, or California. You guys would have loved this. Saw a Prius. I wish I had Tony's dash cam, but I saw a Prius litter while driving on the off-ramp. But at least the litter being hurled into the air out of the Prius was biodegradable. It was an apple. But I just thought, oh man, the guys at XJ Talk would have loved to have seen that apple flying out of the Prius on the off-ramp. What an image. Litter coming from a Prius.
Yeah, that would have been pretty funny, especially if you couldn't tell it was an apple. We could say it was nuclear waste or batteries. They were chunking batteries. Dead batteries out of dead batteries out of the Prius, but just to lighten the weight so they could make it just that much further.
Bag of used needles. That's
yeah, exactly, for battery acid, siphoning off battery acid from unsuspecting vehicles. Okay, we got another one from Joe. You all know Joe. I think everybody in the audience, when he says this is Joe, we should all say, hi, Joe. So here we go.
Hey, guys, this is Joe.
Hi, Joe.
And,
hi, Joe.
My airbag light was on, and I've been looking up things, and they said it might be my clock spring, but I don't understand because my clock is digital in my XJ, so I just can't find a spring in my clock. So I'm not really sure, but I ordered one, and when it came in, it doesn't look like it fit in my clock anyway. Thank you. Bye.
So, interesting tidbit, cock springs are illegal in Vegas.
No, that's cockfighting, and
well, that's why they're illegal, because it gives you too much of an advantage. It springs out.
For those who don't know, really quickly, the clock spring is found underneath your steering wheel on top of the steering column, and this helps transmit the signals from, the wires and everything that are in the steering column up to the steering wheel itself. Things for like airbag deployment and horn and stuff like that. Little buttons for cruise control and that sort of thing. So. Guys, if you're starting to get an airbag warning light and everything else is checking out, all the fuses are good and everything else like that, chances are it's going to be your clock spring.
Did you have a hard time saying clock every time? Because I put that little seed in. Well, I shouldn't say seed. That image into your mind.
God, this is taking a turn for the worse. We're going downhill fast.
All right, we have one more and this one's from Gene.
Hey guys, this is Gene from Southern California. I just wanted to know, where's the old school love at? I've been listening to y'all talk show for about 2 weeks now. I've been powering my way through them. And I noticed y'all don't have any discussions on the old school Jeeps. I'm in the process of rebuilding a 1965 Jeep Gladiator. I've got it up and running. I've taken a little bit of a trail run. I just want to know what y'all think about the older Jeeps, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. And That's about it. Keep up the great work.
Man, I love the full-size Jeeps, FSJs, and the Gladiator is got to be one that's amongst the top of the list. There is really, out of that era, not a more rugged-looking truck. And that's what the Gladiator is. The Gladiator was a full-size Jeep pickup, well, Jeep more or less, back in the day. I think that might have still been a Kaiser or AMC back then. In any case, the Gladiator is a cool truck. I think that the Extreme 4x4, back in its early days, did a build-up on one of these, and they really did it some justice. But yeah, no, we can get into the full-size Jeeps a little bit. There's a dying market, and I don't mean any disrespect here, just because it is harder and harder to find these things out there anymore. A lot of them come from the Salt Belt and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
Too much rust, not enough hard parts out there, and the tech for them is few and far between. So a lot of the troubleshooting stuff is going to come back down to just basic mechanical aptitude.
So I'll just mention that I don't talk anything about them because I don't know anything about those. My first Jeep was the Jeep that I own, which is a 1998 Jeep Cherokee, and I have seen those Jeeps around and before, but I don't know anything about them. And to me, like most people, when you think of Jeep, you think of a Wrangler, and so I've only learned about Wranglers and the 84 on Jeep Cherokees, and really, truth be told, I don't know much about any of the Cherokees before 97, because I've got a 98 and a 99, and I've learned a few things about the pre-97s, but not enough detail where I'd feel comfortable of trying to speak about it in any kind of type of authority. But since you mentioned about us having more information about the old school Jeeps, we certainly have room for you here on the show. We'd love to hear about it. Maybe you could even do a segment for us about that, because I'd like to learn more about them.
Yeah, that's a great idea. And anybody out there who would consider themselves a CJ expert or a Bantam Jeep expert, something like that, if you are a Willys guru, well, then we want to hear from you. Little tips and tricks that unless you have owned and worked on one for years and years and years, there's no way that you're going to know about this one bolt and how to get to it. Something like that. Little tips and tricks of the obscure are always little tech interests that we love, and we'd love to share them. And we need you guys to help us out with that because, well, frankly, we don't know everything out there. Look, I know a lot about a lot of Jeeps, but I don't know everything about every single Jeep. And there's somebody out there that knows something that we don't. And we would like to hear from you guys.
There's always some little something that is just completely unknown and just weird and very interesting. You got that kind of information. Hell, if you worked on the line, we'd love to hear about those missing finger stories.
Yeah. Those are always good.
Yep. Well, let's get over to our YouTube love.
Oh, yeah. There's that beautiful YouTube love music. God, I love that. Guys, we pull a few names out of the hat, 4 to be exact, each and every week out of our massively growing list of ever-growing subscribers. And we are, of course, talking about our YouTube channel, youtube.com/xjtalk. If you subscribe now, there's a chance you're going to get on the list, and a chance we'll go ahead and call your name out on the show. First on tonight's list is
Gary Peters.
And we've got Victor Norris in here as well.
85 Country Boy.
And Cordero Cooper is in our number 4 spot. These are in no particular order, and chances are these names have, they were subscribers from long ago. We are going through this list as fast as we can without drawing it out too terribly much, guys. The numbers are always increasing, but we need your help. Keep up the great work. Please subscribe now if you haven't already, and tell a friend.
Yeah, I was just jumping over to YouTube real quick. That's why I was a little off on my timing, but we have 863 subscribers now. I mean, we've seen
not enough.
No, it's not. I'm surprised it hasn't gone up faster, but it has recently been jumping quite a bit. So we really appreciate you guys joining, subscribing to our YouTube channel, and tell your friends. You'll also see some pretty neat dash cam videos of, as I said in the Fox 26 interview, the idiots and how they drive. It's okay.
Mind of Nikki G.
Hey, this is Nikki G. I just want to congratulate Josh on getting his ham license. I too am licensed in ham, both smoked and honey glazed. And when Tammy said she put peanut butter on her Jeep, right away I thought, chunky or creamy. And then the very next words out of Tony's mouth was, chunky or creamy. So I don't know if that scares me or makes me happy that we think alike.
That's scaring me. I don't know.
All right, guys, I will chat you later. You have a good one. Bye.
This has been From the Mind of Nikki G.
Have you guys been swapping tinfoil again?
It's what is it? Don't ask, don't tell.
Yeah, exactly.
Shiny side down. Okay, now we haven't done some Jeep tips here for a little bit, and I think it's been more than enough time. The lawsuits are no longer pending, so here we go.
This is Steve, 4.3 LXJ, with a quick Jeep tip. Always carry proper maps with you of your off-road area. And you might say, like, where do I get them? Well, you can get USGS topographical maps free. You can download them to your computer and print them off on any kind of media you want in just a few minutes. And that way, when you learn to read these things, you'll always know where you are and you won't be lost.
I just use my GPS, damn it.
You know, if you
hey guys,
don't have
I got some sad news this week. Tammy's not going to be with us because, well, I think she just got tired of me and Josh.
Yeah. I needed a break from you guys. I just have to get away for a short little weekend, and then I'll come back fresh and ready to go next week.
Well, good. I think everybody needs a vacation every now and then. So tell the folks what you were planning on having for us. I guess it will be episode 179 when you're back.
Yep, I'm going to Wrangler Talk. I will be preparing for an off-road trip I'm going to be doing on Memorial Day weekend. So I'm going to do Wrangler Talk on preparing my recovery kit, making sure everything is in there that I need, and maybe asking you guys, what am I missing? Since this is all still kind of fresh and new to me. And in episode 180, the following week, I'm going to test out some quick disconnect mud flaps that GRD Products sent to me. And I will let you know how I feel about the mud flaps.
Now, on that recovery kit, what is the yeah, I'm sure you have some items already. What's the thing you're really looking forward to getting?
I'd like to get a winch someday, but I know that's, costs a lot of money, and it's going to be a while to save for that. But I'd also think I don't know what else I need. I think I have everything, but I might be missing something. I'm just not sure yet. So I'm going to break it out, do some research online, and maybe see what you guys have to say, the folks in the chat room. Give me some suggestions. So Wrangler Talk next week, recovery kits.
Well, I know everybody's going to miss you on the show this coming week, but people could always find you online, right?
Yep, I will be tweeting and Instagramming during my whole trip. I'll still be preparing some blogs this week that I'll have. You can check me out at www.jeepmama.com. I'm on Instagram, Jeep_Mama. I'm on Twitter at Mama Jeep, and on Facebook, Jeep Mama. And, of course, Google+, I'm Jeep Mama there as well.
Excellent. Well, look, whenever you're off on vacation, having a great time, I hope you'll look around for some Jeeps and maybe take some pictures, and we can show them on the show next week.
Of course, and I'm going to try my hardest to get in the chat room if I can, if we're not driving on the road or anything.
Well, I mean, unless you're driving, you should be able to get on.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, guys. And we'll see Jeep Mama.
See ya. Good night.
On episode 179. Yeah, sad, but everybody has to go off and have some fun every so often. Not to say that this show isn't fun, just a different kind of fun.
Yep, I'll be having a different kind of fun myself next week, guys. So, episode 179 of the XJ Talk Show is going to be sans Josh. But I'll go ahead and have a presence here in the show, and somewhere or another, I will be here in spirit, if nothing else.
That must be a West Coast thing, because I had never heard the sans thing or remembered hearing it until you used it on the show a number of times. And every time you said sans, I was thinking about the memory manufacturer.
Ah, yes. Not the same.
No, not the same. But anyway, So, oh my God,
Well,
this is horrible news.
Yeah, this is more sad news, and this is never a good thing to hear about. This is this is a long time fan of the show, supporter of the site, and of course a Jeep god unto himself. The guy probably owns 23 Jeeps.
It's like cats.
And is collecting more every time. Yeah, all the
It's
time.
an old woman in cats.
But one of them in particular that he was rather fond of has gone missing. What has happened with one of Jensen's Jeeps? Well, it was stolen, unfortunately. And then it was recovered, and it was found to be beyond repair. Not only did those bastards take it away from him without asking, but they did a substantial amount of damage to it that was, well exceeded its value. And, it's a damn shame. At least he got it back, but, that's not a lot of condolences there, especially considering the condition that he got it back in. So because of this, I figured it might be a good idea to just sit here for a second and give you guys a few ideas of some things to do as we're rolling into a new week of things to do to protect your Jeep and to keep it where you parked it. And one of the things that I've always recommended is an alarm. The any alarm, any aftermarket security system out there is going to come with a little red flashing LED, and I guarantee you, whether it's red or blue or whatever that they're putting in the boxes nowadays, that flashing LED light is going to be the number one deterrent for keeping a thief away.
Can I back you up a second? Let me make the number one anti-theft thing. Whenever you get out of your Jeep, take your keys with you.
Oh,
I don't care if you're just going to zip in and zip right back out, especially if there's a child in the vehicle.
Oh, geez, yes.
I know you have to pick up the child or children and shuffle them in and shuffle them back out like a herd of geese, but take your keys with you. People do this.
That would be, the other thing you could do would be to lock the door. But that's
you
probably
can't if the keys are in it.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
you can
because then you have to call AAA.
I hear a lot of people about locking themselves out of their vehicle. Yeah, not something that you want to do, but at least people are locked out, and you'll be able to get in eventually.
Mm-hmm.
But no, we've talked about kill switches before, and that is a great thing to do. Even though it be ugly and it be cumbersome, the club be a good way to keep your Jeep where it's supposed to be.
It's like that red LED, except not flashy. I guess you can put red LED flashes on there.
Right. No, but seeing a big ugly club in the window, that thief is just going to keep on moving.
And it's actually pretty simple. I used one for a long time, and it's actually pretty simple to put in place and lock it real quick. You got the keys right there if you're taking them with you.
Yeah, they are a little cumbersome, and you don't like them, floating around underneath the seats. But really dealing with that's a lot easier than dealing with a stolen car. Trust me, I know.
Yeah,
oh
you
boy,
do.
do I know.
Yeah, you do.
No, but really one of the things that will definitely help is to, if you got a detachable face stereo, by all means, pull that face off each and every time you get out of the vehicle. And by all means, keep valuables and electronics out of sight. So don't leave, a couple bills sitting in the center console, sticking out in plain sight in the ashtray or something like that.
Even
if they're ones.
Yeah.
It's cash.
Yeah.
And cash, even if they can't see the nomination of it, they're going to go after.
It's going to catch the eye. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't give them an excuse is what we're saying here.
So there's a couple other things you can do. You can actually attach a switch or even a relay if you have an alarm system to the switch that goes up to your brake pedal. And if you break that circuit and you have an automatic transmission, they're not getting that transmission into drive, even if they start it. You can do the same thing by putting a relay on the 12-volt source going to the coil or coils. In my case, it would be coils, so it'd be a lot simpler. Although there may be a single wire voltage wire feeding all the coils on the 2000s, 2001s. I don't know. What else, Josh? Oh, there's the fuel pump power. I believe runs right there through the what do you call it? The entryway of the Jeep, all the way back. You could actually put a kill switch there, probably very close to the the driver's seat just kind of down and low where people couldn't see it.
And that switch hooked up through a relay or even just breaking the circuit, guys, you can hook that up to any number of different things, whether it be one of the ignition circuits, whether it be the starter, whether it be the fuel pump or a coil. Hey, there's an idea. Take the coil wire, the wire that comes from the coil to the cap. Just take that with you. Sure, pops the you got to pop the hood, spend 15 seconds to, wiggle that thing loose and get your hands a little dirty. But hey, it's a lot easier than dealing with a stolen car.
It'd be interesting, though. It'd be interesting after you get over there, back out there after a movie, you hop in, you've been thinking about the movie, thinking about your girl, whatever it is, and you go to start it, you go, damn thing, and then you remember that little bump that you got in your pocket.
Oh, yeah.
I'll be right back. So there's many different ways that you can help keep your Jeep there. Now, of course, it's not going to keep them from taking the wheels and tires or coming in and towing it off. But they ain't going to drive it away. And if they have any trouble with the vehicle, it's like, why bother with it? I'm just going to move on to the next easier target. So, and the neat thing about the fuel pump, and I don't know this for sure, but I suspect that it might actually start and then die as the fuel runs out. So it will not be readily apparent to the thief, the would-be thief, that the car has been disabled. It might be, I just caught it at a bad time. Damn, these damn Jeeps, they never run, that type thing. And then they move on.
You'll find it the next morning sitting a couple blocks away. So
but you'll find it. So that's the point. Anyway, we want all of you guys to keep your Jeeps and continuing listening to the show. That gives you reason to listen to the show. But of course you don't have to be a Jeep owner or a real Jeep owner to listen to the show. So let's get to our reviews, Josh, because gosh dang it, we got one.
Yep, and this person has been listening to the show for a little while now and left a review, a 5-star review nonetheless, and so thank you for that. This is Sean R. Caldwell that left us a review on May 10th, and he says, love the show. Love the show, guys. Keep up the good work, and that's like 6 exclamation points right there. So he means it, damn it. And guys, you can mean your advice and criticism and well wishes and everything else for us by heading over to iTunes, leaving us a 5-star review or whatever you think is fair. And by all means, leave us a comment as well, whether it's to say hi or say, hey guys, why don't you think about doing this? Constructive criticism is always welcomed, and we encourage you guys to do so.
Yeah, exactly. Turning to the chat room, Paps Boy says, is that a coil wire in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me? Well, I don't know about you, but I'd be buying an oversized coil for my Jeep.
I always keep a pocket full of spark plugs.
Huh? Who are you talking to, Josh? There's nobody here with you.
I'm just, poking the fire, talking to sticks. It's what I do. It's just how I roll.
Well, good. That's great.
I think I've been eating too much moss.
So if you guys can't tell, this is our Camp Fireside Chat, a very popular segment on the show, surprisingly, because it's me and Josh and usually Tammy just, chatting it up about things that are going on. And, Josh, I'll go ahead and do mine. I want to talk about yours, but I'll do mine first.
Well, let's talk about yours, and you can segue into mine. I think you can do that pretty easily. So
yeah. So now, you guys know that for many, many years I've been having a heat creep problem on the highway. Well, thanks to Carves, that's a gentleman's name on xjtalk.com, he pointed me towards a device, Engine Watchdog, the TM1 model, and it's a mechanical temperature sensor. So you actually use this temperature sensor and you put it under a bolt, and then you're measuring the heat from that piece of metal. So it's not something that's dipped into the coolant, but the nice thing is that you can measure anything. If you want to measure your differential case, if you want to measure the temperature on your transfer case, you just move the sensor wherever you want, and then it has this nice little LED readout and tells you what the temperature is. Just make sure you tell them Fahrenheit, because they are in Australia, and they will damn sure send you a Celsius unit. And I don't know nothing about no Celsius.
Yeah, that would mean you'd have to do a conversion, and if you're like me, well, dang it, you don't want to have anything to do with any of that math.
So, now Matt told me, M. Smorenberg told me that I need to check my grounding. But thinking back, I've had an issue with this heat creep for many, many years. And actually, when the Jeep first overheated, when I had it brand new, only 2 years old, I'm not. This is to say I'm not very confident that the grounding is going to fix this issue. So I went ahead and made a purchase. Let's see if I can get this close enough to the camera so you can see them, because they're not very big.
Right.
Yeah, they really aren't showing up. But anyway, these are those little things that look like glowworms. They are potentiometers, variable resistors. I feel like I'm doing a Beverly Hillbillies episode here. Volume controls, if you will. And basically what they are resistors that you can change the values on. So my plan is to get one of those sensors, one of those temperature sensors that goes into your thermostat housing, stick it in a pot of boiling water, and get a volt ohm meter and read the value of what the temperature sensor sends at 212 degrees. And then I'll take that sensor, plug it into the, screw it into the thermostat housing, put one of these little variable resistors in line going to the loom that goes back to the PCM, the ECU, the computer, and then I will monitor the temperature on the OBD2 straight from the computer, not the gauge, but straight from the computer, to see what the computer thinks the temperature is. So once it gets up to around 212 degrees, I'll know that, with the mechanical thing, I'll know that I need to adjust the variable resistor to match what the mechanical temperature sensor is reading. Basically, I'm going to adjust the signal going to the PCM to get the proper temperature reading to the computer and to my dash gauge. So hopefully this 1K resistor, based on what I've read, the resistance isn't very high from those temperature sensors. Hopefully, based on what I read, this 1K resistor will give me enough tunability where I can adjust that properly. And if not, I'll spend another $2 and get a handful of these things from Amazon.com and try it again. But
it'd be a good experiment, a nice little project. And hey, if everything works out just right, you're going to be dialed in. Finally.
Yes, exactly. And I'm a little concerned about the temperature that I'm reading because, like I may have shared in previous shows, I'm seeing OBD2 sensor readings of 255 degrees, 256 degrees, and it's 217 on the mechanical engine watchdog thing. So it's a wide range, and I don't know if I'll be able to adjust it properly because it doesn't seem to be linear. It doesn't seem to be that, it's always 10 degrees out or always 20 degrees out. It has a tendency, the gap gets wider and wider as it gets hotter. So it's just an experiment. We'll see how it goes. All right, so now I want to jump over and send out a hearty congratulations. I think we mentioned that Josh had passed his amateur radio license testing and getting his license.
Yep.
And here unfortunately, he did pass it. Unfortunately for the fine folks at XJ Talk Show or the xjtalk.com forum in the chat room, because we couldn't say anything except congratulations and maybe make some odd comments about did you cheat or any little thing.
So many of you were hoping that I was going to fail so that you could give me so much crap about it.
Only because we wanted to give you crap, not because we didn't want you to succeed, but more just fun.
I gave a very heartfelt shout out in the chat room this afternoon to all of you guys who have helped me, kind of egg me on and give me well wishes, little votes of confidence, and little tips and tricks in studying and things like that. Of course, helping me out with different sources for study material, all that, guys. I couldn't have done this without you guys, and I really, really appreciate that because this really is, to me, a massive, massive personal accomplishment. I know to a lot of you guys out there, you could probably do this in your sleep, and it's not that big of a deal. Yeah. To me, it is kind of a big deal. And it's taken forever to get my call sign. I swear.
That's where I was going. That's where the fun's been. We didn't get to give him a hard time. We didn't get to give him a hard time about not passing the test, but it's like, No call, Josh? No call? It's been what, 3 weeks? Josh goes 3 days. Damn it, 3 days.
And the thing is, I'm out here on the West Coast, and so everybody else pretty much wakes up before I do.
Yeah.
So I get in the morning, and one of the first things I do is I say hi to the people over at xjtalk.com in the chat room, and as I do that, I'm seeing that hours before I get there, still no call sign for Josh. I'm like, oh well, there's no point in searching now, I guess. So.
There's no sense in getting out of bed. Damn it.
Yeah, but here I hold, for the time being, my reference copy of my FCC license. So it is official, guys. KG7TPY is my call sign, and I hope to hear from you guys on the air at some point in the future.
So close. If it had been TPB, it'd be toilet paper for your bunhole.
So yeah.
So did you see
TP joke in there somewhere?
Yeah,
there's no
well,
way.
You're going to have to
TP
think
in
of some.
my call sign,
You're going to have to think of something clever to say, because you need to have something catchy whenever you're telling people your call. And
no, it's toilet paper yucky.
Oh, there you go. Well, that's not too bad. Yuppie would be funnier.
Yeah. Oh, I only go with the triple thick, and it's got to be quilted.
So, I don't know. Did you catch the image that I shared in the chat room today before you left?
I think so. I don't know if it was before. If it was right before I left, I might not have gotten it.
It was a screenshot.
I was logging out.
It was a screenshot from the FCC Universal License Database. And I was telling John, it's a shame that your effective license date wasn't till 5/31. It was issued on 5/14, but you couldn't actually use it till 5/13. Did you see that image?
I did not. I guess
you're going to have to go back and look.
Yeah.
Basically, I took the screenshot and then I changed the effective date of 5/14 to 5/31.
Son of a!
I wanted just a brief second of you going, no, son of
Wait,
a.
what's this? I gotta wait
till the end of the month. So, and then John says, oh, they must have changed it because I just looked and it says 5/14. And I'm like,
oh,
John.
Big thanks out there to John, Preventer 1982. He got my back. Good job,
I was
buddy.
like, oh, he doesn't have your back. You know he doesn't have your back. He just didn't realize what I was doing. So I sent him a private message. I said, geez, what are you doing? Work with me here.
Come on now.
That's a photo chop. So then I deleted his comment in case so you wouldn't be any the wiser.
A little moderator power there.
Yeah.
Nicely done. Nicely done.
But you missed it. Now you did comment after putting the image up there, so I didn't know if you had seen it or not. But it was beautifully done,
glazed over it or something like that. So yeah, I'll have to go back into the archives, check that out.
Yeah, you need to save that. You need to save that and put a little blood, sweat, and tears on that where you cried about reading that. So another amateur radio story here. I don't know if you're aware of it. Dan Cole over the 4x4 Radio podcast, part of a member of the 4x4 Radio Network. Plug. He recently got his ham license, and I've been chatting with Dan on and off during the day. He has a handy-talkie similar to the one that you have, and he has just been going nuts trying to figure out. Really, what it amounts to is the ham lingo about how to get the radio set up, because, Dan's in the military. He does a lot of work with military radios, and as he puts it, they're a lot more complex than this, because he was feeling bad, I think, all the questions he was asking me about the ham radio. Oh. So I'm not quite sure if they really are more complex. But anyway, that's what he said. And anyway, so there's things like now he's got a dual band handy talkie. We call them walkie talkies when we were kids, but hams call them handy talkies. And it's VHF, UHF, and he was trying to get set up so he could communicate on a repeater on VHF, 2 meters. So a repeater basically is a base station style transceiver that you transmit to with your radio on one frequency. And the repeater takes that incoming signal and simultaneously broadcasts it out over a much higher, much more powerful antenna. So your effective range is increased from maybe 5 miles to 30, 40 miles. and you can talk very clearly, just like Josh and I are talking here, over really very long distances. And it's FM, so it sounds good. It's not an AM stuff, nothing that you would hear on CB where you hear all the noise and stuff. So obviously Josh is reading some stuff there in the chat room. So anyway,
getting some TPY acronyms.
Good
here. So there's a couple of good ones.
So basically, you have to set up the radio with the proper transmit and receive frequencies, and a lot of the repeaters require a sub-audible tone, and they do that so that the other people transmitting, because there is such a thing as skip on 2 meters. It usually happens with temperature inversions, like a cold front, something comes through. So on occasion, it's rare, but on occasions that does happen. And then you can wind up with a mobile hundreds of miles away coming through your repeater and not really even hearing the repeater and causing interference. So they put these subaudible tones on there. So if they don't hear that tone, they don't repeat that transmission. So it's just kind of a filter. So those were the 3 things that Dan had to set up. He had to set up the transmit frequency, the receive frequency, and the subaudible tone for the repeater. Now, I think he got some bad information. He was using an app on his phone to determine what the closest repeaters are because, what do you know? If you've never done this before, you don't know where the repeaters are located. Mm-hmm. So I don't think the location information was correct on the app, and he thought he was a lot closer to a repeater than what he was. So he was getting all set up to talk to repeater, but the repeater was some 30 miles away. And with a handy-talkie and that little antenna that's on the handy-talkie, you're probably not going to hit a repeater that far away unless they're up on a 1,500 to 2,000 foot tower. And there's not a lot of those across the country. So right at showtime, Dan sent me a message and told me that he made his first QSO, and that's one of the Q codes for a conversation. So he had his first conversation on a local repeater there in Kansas, and I think Kansas, Missouri, I can't remember. I think it's Kansas. And I said, that's great. Did your voice crack while you were making that conversation? And he says, no, it didn't last long because the battery died.
Oh, jeez.
So all this time that he's been monkeying with the radio and, and trying to get, putting his call sign out on the repeater and not having it work, he ran the battery down. So now he's got to charge it.
Funny.
But he's made a contact. He's made it through the repeater. And congratulations. That's a lot of fun when you make your first contact.
Absolutely.
Which you haven't made yours yet, right?
Not yet. Well, I just got mine. Just got my call sign this afternoon. So between work and then driving home and everything, I know what I need to do to program. I have not yet programmed in any repeaters. I've programmed in a couple of frequencies, but I have to go through and set in the tones and a couple of other frequencies and stuff like that. So, but I've got all the information, and I'll be playing around with that this weekend. So most likely I'll be making my first contact this weekend.
So since I actually work down in the basement, so 2 meter contacts, 440 contacts, or 70 centimeter contacts is really not something that I'm going to be doing. But you're actually up above ground where you work, so depending on what your employer allows, you'll actually be able to sit there and monitor the repeater during the day, if you so wish.
Well, I do wish, but the other people in the office that I work with probably would not.
Oh, you just put a little earplug in your ear and you sit there and listen.
I've got earphones, so yeah, I'll be doing all sorts of stuff with it, I'm sure.
And the cool thing about doing that is you kind of get used to the lingo. And one of the things that Dan took issue with is he wanted to know, what do you say? How do you initiate a conversation on a 2 meter 70 centimeter repeater? And I said, you just say your call. So in my case, it would be WB5 ZDD portable, handy-talkie, whatever you want to say. And then that's all you say, this WB5 ZDD or WB5 ZDD handy-talkie listening.
Yeah, I was going to say you want to throw in the listening there or something like that.
Well, they know you're listening
or even CQ or something like that. Yeah.
Well, that's just it. You never say CQ on the repeater.
Yes. That's simplex or HF.
No, that's improper. No? That's improper etiquette. So if you're on VHF, UHF, FM, there is no CQ unless you want to be made fun of.
Gotcha.
And as Dan put it, says, "Gee, even the nerds make fun of you."
You sure are a nerd.
So if you're on VHF, UHF, FM, no CQ. If you're on HF, then you do say CQ. And HF is the higher frequencies, and you know the HF frequencies as being the ones that you can talk around the world on. The VHF, UHF is pretty much line of sight, and it's FM, not AM. So as I was chastising John today, he said once he saw your call come across the FCC database, he put his call and then said he did your call, then said this is, and then said his call. And I said, oh gee, here we go. It's not this is, it's DE. And you don't know what the DE is, do you?
I don't.
That means from. That is Morse code, the 2-letter Morse code for from. So in CW, you would say the call sign DE, their call sign DE, your call sign. And then John, I think he went and looked it up, honestly. He says, well, I don't do CW. This isn't CW. But I'm telling you, that's the way people do it, even whenever they are doing, when they're writing it out, like in text or chat, you would put the DE in there because that's the way hams do it.
I'll be darned.
Yeah, anyway, congratulations to...
you guys didn't think you're going to learn anything today, did you?
Post congratulations to Dan and current congratulations to Josh for really just receiving his license. So now let's see how long it takes him to have a conversation or a QSO live and on the air.
Oh, yeah, that'll be interesting.
Oh, and I better warn you, repeaters have a timeout. So if you talk longer than 3 minutes, and it's variable, but you talk longer than 3 minutes, the repeater turns off.
Okay.
Why are you telling me?
Yeah, John. Because Tony knows I can just talk endlessly without stopping.
You can see it. You can see it wash over his face as he was getting the joke.
Like, what do you mean? Oh, yeah, somebody thinks he's funny.
You're listening to a 4x4 Radio Network podcast.
This is Steve, 4.3LXJ, with a quick Jeep tip. Always carry tools with you out on the trail. Personally, I carry enough tools that I could do just about anything.
I bet.
But some may have less tools. But you want to be able to make trail repairs if you can, because that loose tie rod nut is going to ruin your day if you can't grab a wrench or a socket and a ratchet and tighten that back down.
Yeah, that's really, really good advice right there. I'm a former Boy Scout. I always overpack because I believe in going prepared and being prepared while out on the trail. And so I always bring way more tools than I will ever need. But you know what? It's come in handy because oftentimes it's not you who needs a tool on a trail.
Yeah.
It's somebody else. And sometimes that person is in front of you, and it's in your best interests to help them get on their way so you can continue your afternoon of wheeling.
Yeah, because ramming speed doesn't always fix everything.
Full speed ahead!
I guess that's only for the hammers when ramming speed is effective.
That's what stingers are for. Just put it right through the back window and push them right out of the way. No, don't ever do that.
Hey, this is Tony from the XG Talk Show, and we've got John, Pre-Runner 1982, here today. He's going to talk to us about the Day of the Dirt adventure. This is a little trek across Oklahoma. And, well, John, what kind of things are people going to hear on the interview?
A lot of Jeeps, a lot of dirt roads, and some of Oklahoma's forgotten histories, pre-statehood schools, old townships, cemeteries buried in high grass, train trestles, old bridges, a lot of good times, family event, and good picture opportunities.
So watch for the bonus episode, Day of the Dirt, from the xjtalkshow.com. All right, now here's a popular segment that we just started doing a few shows back, Wheeling Where. Josh, give us the great news about where we can go to go off-road or see some cool Jeeps or other off-road vehicles.
Yeah, we've actually got a spectator event that's coming up here real soon. This is the We Rock Dirt Riot Central happening May 30th at the Hidden Falls Adventure Park, and that's in Marble Falls, Texas. For more information, just head to werocklive.com. And coming up June 5th through the 7th is the Jeep Jamboree 5th Annual Badlands Jeep Jamboree. This is a Jeep Jamboree USA event, so you know it's going to be real awesome. This is happening in Attica, Indiana. For more information, you can call 530-333-4777 or head to jeepjamboreeusa.com. And finally, Score International Off-Road Racing brings to you the 46th Annual Tecate Score Baja 500. That's right, the Baja 500, June 5th through the 8th, Ensenada, Baja, Mexico. For more information, scoreinternational.com. That would be a cool event to go check out. Well, that's it for this week, guys. If you've got an event coming up in your area, well, let's get the word out. Whether it's a show and shine, a cruise in, a club run, fundraiser, or a huge event like the Easter Jeep Safari, well, let us know about it by giving us a call or sending us an email to newstips@xjtalkshow.com, and we're going to get your event out on the air.
Excellent. So every week or every other week we have the Jeep Mama review, and we're not having it this week, obviously, because Tammy isn't here. But the Tammy reviews have Jeep product reviews, and shares her insights and its relevance to you as a Jeep owner and off-road enthusiast. It's use and performance. Make sure you tune in to episode 180 for our next Jeep Mama product review.
Yeah, those are always a good thing, guys. And we want to make sure you guys are joining us each and every week for the XJ Talk Show. So make sure you set a date, program an alarm on your phone, or heck, just might as well subscribe. Head over to xjtalk.com and sign up for the feed there as well. You can find us on YouTube, youtube.com/xjtalk. Make sure you subscribe there as well. Facebook.com/xjtalk.page. And we, of course, on the Twitter, as Tony would like to say, at XJTalk. Make sure you guys include us in your other tweets as well. And make sure you visit and like our Facebook page, and make sure you guys know about iTunes. It's where you go to find the show as well as all the other sources. But if you are listening on iTunes and you haven't left a review yet, it's time to click on that 5-star button and leave us a comment while you're at it.
Absolutely. And you know what? You can be aware of every time we post a show, every time there's a live show going to be coming out, bonus segments, the whole 9 yards. If you go over to xjtalkshow.com, and at the bottom of every post, there's a section where you can email subscribe to the podcast. So anytime a post goes up on xjtalkshow.com, you'll be notified via email. That's a great way to know anytime anything's happening on xjtalkshow.com, and I really encourage you to do that. And even if you don't go over to the website, you'll still get that email notification, and you'll know to download, which of course you can just subscribe on iTunes. But if you want to do it another way, this is certainly a way you can be aware of every little fart that we ever make on that webpage.
Yep, and guys, we have gotten it under control now. Tony no longer tweets about his solid bowel movements. So,
that's actually an app idea I'm working on. Instead of a blog, this would be a BM log. But I was concerned that BM log might be too redundant. What do you think?
Well, it's pretty much self-explanatory right there.
But you'll be able to take pictures and make comments like, I don't remember eating corn. So, Oreo Day. You know, a whole number of things that you can do there.
Oh, that's a whole nother podcast. Speaking of other podcasts, make sure you guys check out our other podcast, Tony and Josh Show. You guys can find that over at tonyandjosh.com. And on this podcast, there's always a fourth seat open for you guys. Let's get you on the show.
You had no idea what you were walking into with that, did you? Oh, we forgot to mention it, but I want to get this in. Please go over to your favorite Jeep forum and post about the XJ Talk Show. And if they give you any grief about it, which actually I'm hoping they do, because I think it'd be kind of funny to call them out here on the show, let us know what happened. Take a screenshot, copy the information that you get back from them. I mean, there's absolutely no reason why they wouldn't there's absolutely no reason why they wouldn't allow you to inform other Jeep owners about the podcast that you enjoy. But as we found out, and one of the reasons why xjtalk.com was started, they don't always seem to play well with others at other forums. So do us a favor, tell people about the show on your favorite forum. And even if it's xjtalk.com, tell them anyway. And let us know if there's any feedback, positive or negative, for the show. Good night. Come on, Josh.
All right. I'll go ahead and open my mouth and say good night. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next week.
Shortest show ever.
What, an hour and 5 minutes? What was that?
No, it's not the shortest, but it's pretty short. Yeah, I didn't read that thing about the Tammy review. I thought it was just left over since you copy and paste the notes. So
I
didn't.
was like, all right, well, he doesn't want to do it. All right,
no, I didn't actually read it. I just thought, oh, it's the copied bit. Tammy's not here, and then I actually looked at it from your reaction when I said.
See what happens when you actually read the show notes, Tony?
I don't reading.
I know, dude. You don't have to. I already know.
Reading is just so long and boring. So sometimes it's not always. Sometimes it's very interesting, but just the whole idea of reading kind of just gets to me.
Show notes. I'll wait for the movie.
Yeah, one of my favorite things to do on Twitter or Facebook is say I can't read. I'm illiterate, and I'm sitting there doing all this reading and writing on Facebook and Twitter. Maybe it's like conversations during the day. You have so many conversations at work. You get home, you don't want to talk. It's kind of strange. There's not more female-only podcasts because women very different from men, very much more articulate and enjoy speaking more than most men. But all the podcasts, the majority of the podcasts are all male, and I just find that strange.
Well, like James Brown once said, "It's a man's world."
Well, that'll be popular with women.
Glad I didn't say that in a live show.
Well, it's being recorded. So
yeah, it's still being. Yeah. Send your complaints to Josh at xjtalkshow.com.
Tammy's not here. I'd say at Tammy. To Tammy at xjtalkshow.com.
Let her deal with it.
Yeah, let her deal with it. We'll say you're the new guy. You're the one that has to deal with the hate mail.
Take your licks.
And she'll be wanting to. Oh, that's like the Josh's Subconscious thing from last week. That was a big hit.
Yeah.
And your subconscious gives me a hard time about I can't come up with anything. And then a 15-second chat conversation, and 30 seconds later he's done a segment. So I think he just has to be smoothed. You have to tell him, "Oh, you're so pretty, you're so nice. Come on, baby." And then boom, there's a 30-second gem or a 45-second gem. GEM, not what Josh's Subconscious thinks gem is spelled. So I guess Tammy didn't join us tonight in the chat room.
No, it must be out of cell service or driving or otherwise disposed.
Yeah, we'll go with the last one there. Oh, Pap's Boy said gave you guys a shout out on our new episode. Oh, excellent! I saw that video posted up. Where did I see that? I guess it was on YouTube that I saw that, or maybe it was email. But anyway, yeah, I saw that right before the show, and I was going to go over there and watch that. Thank you for the shout out. And let's see what else. You guys got my screen name wrong in last week's show notes. What is it? It's not Super Croc? Oh, did I say CROCK? I bet you that's the way I put it on there. What's this now? Third party spell check? WTF. Yeah, I don't know if anybody's going to do the posting like on Jeep Forum or Naxja or anything like that, but I would.
Well, I'm boycotting Naxja for the rest of the year. Otherwise, I would.
Yeah, no, you don't.
And I have posted links and banners to the XJ Talk Show over at jeepforum.com. I can't remember how they were received, though.
There was no pushback?
There was on Naxja, but I don't recall getting anything from Jeep Forum, so I think it was okay.
I would just post over there on Naxja, why do you hate Jeep people?
Yeah, right.
These are just Jeep people trying to have a show. Why do you hate Jeep people? No, actually, Naxja is not a bad site mostly. they have some issues. I guess all forums do. It's just all of the eyes of the beholder. But some of those rules are just dumb. I mean, the whole thing about how somebody can be voted into office and ban somebody for no good cause. I mean, if they want to, I mean, it's not like they're president of the site. It's a president of a chapter, and the president of a chapter can ban somebody from the entire site. That's just, to me, that just sends out the wrong signal.
Yeah. Yeah. And there is definitely a misappropriation of power and not enough oversight.
It seems like to me that would be, well, I guess when you're on a website where there's a large group of people that are making the decisions, then these things can happen. You would hope that they had some sort of charter, some sort of rules, like a I can't remember what it's called, like a constitution, like the United States has, and these
bylaws.
These are the basic rules of how this site is going, or how this club is going to be run, and how the site's going to be run. And you can't break one of these rules. If you break one of these rules, then it's rescinded, or you're getting in trouble, or something. And banning somebody just simply because you're a president of a chapter should be a violation of those basic rules. Nobody should get banned simply because they don't like you. It's not right.
You're right.
Thank you. And I guess that's one of the reasons why I like xjtalk.com, and of course I would, since there's only one final voice in any decision on that site, not a conglomeration, not a meeting, but try to run it that way. But yeah, exactly. Supercroc says off with the head. Try to run it that way, but push come to shove, the right decision will be made, even if it's the wrong one. Oh, and I was going to do it before the show, but we were busy and running long. I would like to get that you sir are a nerd as a drop.
Oh, okay.
So I want to record that separately and be able to play that every so often, especially when we're talking about ham radio or anything nerdy. And the funny thing will be is I'll use it against you more than me.
No, no doubt.
And Josh rolls his eyes. Damn it, why did I do that?
Yeah, I'm going to get myself into it. I don't remember agreeing to this.
Actually, it'd be kind of fun doing interviews, too. You, sir, are a nerd. Did your mom ever say, Josh, stop that? Your face may stick that way?
Yeah, because I have a little sister.
Ah, gee. That'd be fun to get her on the show. Maybe she could do a weekly segment. Things you don't know about Josh. If you guys don't listen to the Tony and Josh show, you should, because this past week we spoke about urinating on electric fences. Josh has never experienced this and never has been in the vicinity where somebody experienced it personally. I have never experienced it personally because I'm smarter than most, at least most of the ones I hung around with. But I have been in the vicinity when somebody urinated on the fence. We all down here in South Texas, we call it peeing. Whenever they peed on the electric fence.
It's not that we don't have electric fences down here, and it's not like I've never been electrocuted. And it's weird because I talk with people who also have been electrocuted, and they describe it much differently than my experiences. If you ever been shocked, electrocuted by wall current, and you're still alive to talk about it, well, chances are you weren't shocked by 220. You were shocked by 110, or 240 and 120, whatever. I've been shocked by a lot of house current before, and to me, it tickles.
Yeah, it's weird.
To some people, it hurts, and it's a burning sensation and a pain. To me, it's just like, ooh, you know. It's like,
wait, how did that go? How did that go? How did that go? There you go.
And
I think you're enjoying that electrocution a little too much.
Well, yeah. The funny thing is like almost any time I get in or out of my car or Jeep, I mean, I carry a lot of static electricity with me. And pretty much any time I go up and touch a metal surface, I get shocked. And it's so I don't know what it is, but it's like
I pick up those feet. You can't shuffle across.
It happens in the parking lot. I don't know, but it's interesting. I mean, I love electricity, and that's why I kind of got into the field of mobile electronics for as long as I did, and why I still am a bit of an electronics nerd. But nonetheless. Being shocked is not that big of a deal, and I have no idea where I was going with this train of thought. So there it is.
Well, that's what happens when you multitask. So, yep. So I was really excited to see that Dan made his first contact on that radio. I think we've been talking about getting that radio set up and finding a repeater and all the rest of that stuff for a couple of days. Now, of course, Dan's always busy doing something. So he hasn't devoted 2 days of working on this, but it's a long time to work at something before he actually gets in there and is able to use it. Was it you? I don't think it was you. Somebody told me that they ordered a bunch of stuff for their handy talkie today. Was it you or was it Dan?
It was not me.
So it was Dan.
Must have been Dan.
Yeah, I think Dan said it must have been Dan. He said he ordered, a microphone for his handy talkie, a magnetic antenna.
Cool.
So, and probably I don't remember if he said or not, but probably an adapter where you can plug the handy talkie into the cigarette lighter. And what you have there is a mobile dual band radio for your for any vehicle you want to get in that has a metal surface where you can stick the magnetic base antenna on, and the antenna is really small for 2 meters. Quarter wave is only about a couple of feet long, so it's really easy to stick those things anywhere, and they're really not an eyesore if you're concerned about that sort of thing. I remember we went and visited some relatives in San Antonio, and they were kind of freaking out because I have that 102-inch whip for my HF stuff, and I've got the quarter wave dual band antenna mounted towards kind of in the center of the roof of the Cherokee, and it was like, hey, what's all those antennas all about? It's like federal government. What does Tony do for a living? My wife is like, he's a ham radio operator. And then she goes, "You sir are a nerd." So I was telling my wife Susie today while I was getting ready to eat. I said, I don't know if I told you or not, but Josh passed his ham license, and he's been waiting.
See, you should have stopped. You should have stopped with Josh had passed his ham license. There would have been a brief moment there of.
So you'll be able to interrupt Josh all the time now. So I said that we had been giving you a hard time about your license coming in.
Mm-hmm.
I think it took a prolonged amount of time. When did you passed your test over the weekend? Not this past weekend, but the weekend prior. Was it on a Saturday or a Sunday? It was a Saturday.
It was a Saturday. I think it was a Saturday. Yeah, the 2nd.
I wonder how long they took to send the information in, and if they send it in snail mail or electronically.
That's a good question.
One would hope electronically.
One would hope, but I'm guessing by the time that it took, it was probably snail mail.
Well, it's still a lot shorter than that 4 to 6 weeks that I had to wait, and I don't remember how long it took. It may have been shorter, may have been longer, but that was going out to the mailbox every day.
Stop playing with it; it'll fall off. You know your sister? Well, she used to be your brother.
Well, that's how they do it in Canada. So Dan asked me on a different chat on Google Plus, because he's too good to get into XJ Talk Show chat, and he says, "Does Josh have a radio already?" And I said, "Yeah, same as yours, I believe." And he says, "Hopefully he knows he'll need some accessories to really get it working." See, Dan's learned that the little antenna that's on the radio. It's exactly as you would expect. It works a lot better than a walkie-talkie does, but with the repeaters and everything else that you can get into. But for it to really work well, you need an antenna on the outside of a vehicle and get that extra ground plane. And the power output on that handy talkie you have is like 8 watts high power, right?
It is. Yeah.
So that's a hell of a wattage thing, because if you can get that thing plugged into the cigarette lighter, you're 8 watts all day long, as long as you've got a battery to plug it into. If I remember correctly reading about it, it actually does pretty good, just with the battery that comes with it. Obviously it's going to run out, sooner, than later. The more you need it, the sooner it's going to run out, but, you can always get spare batteries. I remember I used to have several spare batteries for my ICOM-2AT. That's a really old 2-meter handy talkie. Actually, let me grab that and I'll put it up on the screen.
Oh, wow. Yeah. No, I just popped up some images, Google images of that. Yeah. Looking at the one of the original would be the magazine page advertisement for that. Good Lord, it's got dials at the top of it. Holy cow. Yeah, that thing is... You don't see them like that anymore, that's for sure.
All right, so...
Wow, ICOM America is based in Bellevue, Washington. Those are my old stomping grounds.
So let's see. I think maybe... I don't know if you're watching the YouTube feed or not. Let's see, get it back over here. So this thing is about the size of my head, and it's got a keypad because auto patches were all the rage on the 2-meter repeaters. So you could actually make phone calls as long as you wanted everybody to hear what you were talking about. And up here, it has a thumb wheel where you change the frequency, and you just have the last, or really not the last, but the significant digits. So right now, this is set for 147.200. And as you can see, the thumb wheel display shows 720, and it is mechanical. So you actually, like those old clocks, those old alarm clocks, where the thing would flip. This doesn't flip, but it just has a rotating wheel in there, and you rotate it, and that mechanical switch changes the frequency. And I haven't used it in a while, but I bet you it works just fine.
You should keep that. Well, no, you've got a mobile rig in the Jeep. I was going to say keep that in the Jeep, but you don't need to do that.
No, and this thing does not have subaudible tones, because whenever they made this thing, subaudible tones was not something that was. It was known about, but nobody really used it yet. So all the repeaters were completely open, no tone necessary, and so there's. This would only be able to be used on repeaters that did not need subaudible tones. But it would work perfectly fine, simplex, and they did make some... on the back of the thing here is 3 switches for high and low power. That was like 150 milliwatts and 1.5 watts out. And what else I got here? Oh, yeah, duplex, simplex. And then your split for the repeater at the very bottom, it's a plus 600 kilohertz and a minus 600 kilohertz. So when you were on a repeater at 147 megahertz or above, you switched it to plus 600. And if you were on 145 megahertz, you switched to a negative 600 kilohertz split. So a little bit of nostalgia there. Oh, and it had a nice little belt clip. I mean, we're talking about a really beefy belt clip. Your belt would come apart before this thing would. And yep. Well, I'll be darned. There's no. Oh, and then it has these holes in the back so that you could run the charger to your battery, like for a battery eliminator. Actually, I've got one of those someplace. I got really excited. I went to a ham fest and I saw a super expensive drop-in charger for the ICOM 2AT. And it was over $100, I believe, whenever these things were, in the limelight. And I didn't want to spend $100 for a $200 handy talkie so I could have a drop-in charger. So when I saw it at a ham fest for $35, I grabbed it. And actually just now I just pulled it out of the drop-in charger to bring it over here. I've got it in a shelf in my closet. So I'll probably hold on to this for forever and ever just because.
Yeah.
I'll have to fire it up and see if it still works. I'm sure it does. Icon makes good stuff.
Yeah, they do, as far as I can tell.
But I would.
Well, hey Tony, I'm gonna try and push you along here. I've got the promo all typed out here, so let's go ahead and shut down the live show and do our thing here.
Okay. And let's see. And I was just going to say, as far as the Bofing like you got, I would not hesitate to get one of those things because at $35, even if you use it just as a wheel chock for your Jeep, it's definitely worth it. All right, guys, you guys have a great week. Thanks for showing up here to the live show. We really appreciate you being here, and we will catch you next week. Well, actually, Josh won't, but I will.
That's right.
Tammy and I will.
I'll see you guys in 2 weeks.
Yep. You know what? I was showing all that the 2AT and everything, and I had the show banner up.
Yeah.
Josh says, "Don't tell him because he'll go, oh, well, let me put that up on the screen and talk about all this whole thing all over again."
Well, I was thinking